Hi, everyone. This is Kathy Mamelin. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to this twin flame reading, no contact reading. We are going to ask our spirit guides today, what is going on around you with the person on your mind? Now, you could be in a low contact, low communication, no contact. It could be a twin flame situation. So let's see what our guides have for messages for you. Today, I will be using some initials and some charms, so we'll be getting some additional clues with that, and lots of love messages. So let's see what they have for you. Sit back and relax and take what connects to you. Leave the rest for everybody else. You can be any sign for this reading, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and your person can be any sign as well. So just take what connects to you is the best way to do it. It is a collective reading. Spirit, I call upon you for loving guidance. What is it that you have for us today? What is it that you need us to know? I am listening for you now. I'm terrified of rejection. I'm afraid that, it was almost a feeling of if I come back, you're going to push me away. You're not going to want me. You're going to say, I'm not doing this anymore. I thought we were fine, but I guess I was wrong. So something came forward that maybe I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting this conversation that I'm not happy, or somebody says, I haven't been happy for a long time. And let me tell you something. Usually when somebody says something like that, they've got somebody else in the background. I haven't been happy with you. Really? You haven't given me any clues. All of a sudden, they've got to come up with reasons why they're not happy with you. So be careful with that. You made me doubt myself. Sometimes I don't know who I am anymore. A little bit of a deflated ego happening there. Somebody who, is usually kind of really high ego, really high, kind of high horse energy. And it almost felt like you knocked him down. Okay, that whatever's going on between the two of you, they don't like. Maybe they've lost control, Spirit just said. So it could be, I don't like that I can't control the situation. And maybe that's something I can't control you. I can't control who you're with or who you're talking to or where you're going, or you don't have to report into me. So yeah, I feel like they've lost control and their ego is just like, whoosh, okay. I don't want you to hold on to me. Please don't wait for me. I feel like that's a BS statement, to tell you the truth. I feel like that's their way of saying, I don't know what I want. So if I was you, I wouldn't wait for me. Like I've got all kinds of options. What they're saying now is this person is the exact opposite, that they're shocked that you're not chasing after them after they said that. So if they said something to you along the lines of, I wouldn't wait for me, I don't want you, like just this kind of nasty pushing you away energy, they're shocked now that you're not chasing after them. So who chases after somebody that doesn't want them? Nobody. So, but they're surprised by that. And attached to that is this, I can't control you anymore. It doesn't mean that they were, beating you, but I don't have any control even over who you talked to today or what you did or what you're doing, or I have no idea. So that is some kind of it's really killing their ego, because maybe they always felt like they were the one who made all the decisions in this relationship. I didn't expect this to happen. I didn't expect you to be in agreement with it, that it's over. I didn't expect you to not chase me. I didn't expect you to not beg for me to come back, is how it's coming into me. So surprise, surprise is kind of the feeling. Like they shouldn't be surprised by your reaction, but they are. And that's the best part. It's a little bit of a karma's a bitch, like revenge. I'm not a big revenge person, but it's like they got what they're coming, like they doled it out and now they're getting out, what they have coming to them is really what's going on with me right now. So Oh boy, oh boy. I have an embrace. I'm craving your physical touch, but that's more of a, I can't control who's touching you. It's, yeah, I crave you. I miss you, but I'm freaking out that I don't know who you are with. I don't know where you went last night. Like, I feel like that's what's driving them crazy right now. Like, they always had kind of their hand in what your schedule was like and where you were and who you were with and what friends and what time you got home, and now they don't have access to any of that, and that is what's really killing them. I'm questionable. There's more questions than answers. So this feeling of what if, what's happening? Yeah, there's a lot of, I'm freaking out. Partially, there's more to this story. I do feel like when they said I haven't been happy or I need a break, what's the missing piece? That it didn't make sense at the time, Spirit just said. It didn't, I couldn't connect all the dots. And then when I stepped back away from it, there had to have been somebody else in the picture, or they had to have been thinking, what else is out there? What are my other options? I want to try to look for something better. Like there was this little nugget of information that you have been missing. And I do feel like the truth comes out, and I do feel like you probably have figured out what that missing piece was. And that is definitely why you're not chasing them. That is why, and nor do I want you to. And that is, why they feel deflated. Their ego's totally shot because they misread you. They misread how you were going to react in this whole situation. This communication, hello, I'm unsure of calling you. I really feel like maybe in the past that you always were the peacemaker. Maybe you were the one that always said, you know what, we'll work it out, and I need you, and I want you in my life, and we'll figure this out. And this time you said, I'm not doing that. I want somebody who wants me, not somebody who says they don't know what they want. They don't know if they're happy with me. So I do feel like it's almost like their words came back to haunt them. I have a 10 of swords. It's look at the sword. Look at all these swords came and stung them. So here's the change, like you asked for this. You asked for this ending. You asked for this no contact, or you asked to whatever. And now all of a sudden, you're changing your mind because you don't like the situation that you put yourself in. I have a 2 of cups. I have a 6 of cups. So here's the memories. Here's the memories coming in. Here's are you moving forward without me even? But here is I didn't know I had it so good. And I really feel like this person is totally misread how this was going to go down. That's how it's coming into me. And have you moved on? Like they're constantly thinking, are you moving on? Are you thinking about me? What happened? They really thought you were going to be the one chasing them. Maybe that's what happened the last time, but this time it's different, Spirit's saying. This time you're not taking it. I have a 10 of cups. You do deserve to be happy. I have an 8 of cups. I have an Empress. It's coming into me a lot of different ways. It came into me as I'm going to continue to walk away because I feel that, 1, I deserve to be happy, and 2, I have a lot to offer. There's a lot of different people that want to be with me. I'm an Empress. I have more respect than that, is how that Empress came into me, as I have more respect than you give me for myself. And it was very much a feeling as I will continue to walk away from you because your ego was so inflated and you really thought this was all about you. And this is an Empress and a Queen of Wands stepping forward and saying, it's not about them, it's about me. So you're finally taking back your power. You're finally realizing that this person can jump up and down all they want, but it doesn't mean that you're going to do what they want you to do right now. Okay. So there's a big lesson to learn here. I feel like they didn't take into consideration what they were going to be losing. I feel like they thought about themselves, their freedom, what it was going to be like to be, you know, kind of out there doing their own thing. Maybe there's even a third party. Maybe there was even a, you know, somebody that they thought they would rather be with, and that didn't work out. But they didn't take into consideration what it was going to do to you. And I think that that's what's upsetting me the most in this reading is, what about you? All right, let's get some initials. Let's see what the initials are saying. I have first initials, last initials. So here are my dice. Let's grab, maybe you'll get your person's name. Maybe you'll get their initials, something like that. So we get lots of letters. I have a W. I have an O, I have a J, I have an R, an S, an F. I have an O, I have a Y, I have a U, I have a T, I have a J, I have a B, I have a Q, a T, a Y, and a D. Okay, so some of you that may connect to you, okay? Let's see what else they want you to know. I think what happened is you're not chasing them. I really do. And I feel like they're shocked. I feel that the one thing they could almost rely on is that you kind of would always be there. You would always try to repair the damage. You would always fix things, Spirit's saying. And if they wanted a break, they have a break, but then they could come back whenever they wanted. And the door isn't always open, Spirit's saying. So surprise, surprise, right? Maybe your door isn't, you know, your door isn't always open. And maybe this is the one time that you're saying to yourself, like, I'm not going to just open my door when you're ready. No way. You got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of jumping through hoops. You got a lot of apologies to make. You got a lot of, you know, repair work. I have priorities. Even though your heart longs for me, you realistically don't have time in your life for me right now. So maybe they weren't putting you first. It was all about them and their ego and what they wanted. And then they say, I'm not happy and I need a break and I need to work on me. And, you know, I just want to be able to do whatever I want. But maybe they weren't giving you the time or the energy that you deserved. And now this Empress is taking a step back and saying, what about me? You know, there's a lot of people that want to be with me. I have a lot of love to give. This person isn't the only person on the face of the earth. And even if we feel this intense connection to them, doesn't mean that it's the healthiest person for us. Sometimes we have to walk away from somebody we're in love with, and it's really hard. I have finances. I'm not ready for you yet because I'm not financially stable enough to be a good partner. Little bit of a, you're always throwing in my face something that I don't have enough, or I don't give you enough, or maybe they don't have what they think that they should have, and they can't give you anything that maybe you think that they should. You know, they don't take you out to dinner. They don't pick up the tab. They don't contribute to, they stay at your house, but they don't contribute to food, you know, but they eat there, you know, all the time. You know, so maybe there was some fights over, you know, let's be fair here. How come I'm footing the bill all the time? How come I'm putting the gas in the car, but you use the car? How come I'm buying groceries all the time and you eat 10 times as much as I do, you know? So I feel like something was very unfair on the financial end. Addictions. I don't have room for you in my life because much of my energy is focused on the wrong things. So if they are drinking too much, maybe that influenced this, that it's consuming their finances. You know what? I have money for beer, but I don't have money for, to pick up the tab for the takeout pizza. Can you get it? Can you put it on your charge? So yeah, there's a sense of unfairness, a sense of selfishness, an awakening. I'm going through a spiritual awakening right now, and I'm transforming. I've chosen to become, and the awakening could be as simple as you're the one that's getting away. It could be as simple as I should have treated you better. I didn't realize that you weren't going to run after me. I wasn't expecting that. I feel like they're struggling with that. I do. I feel like they're shocked by that. That really was a blow to their ego. They've lost control over your schedule, your time of some kind. They don't like it. I feel like they always had tabs. They always had this. They don't have tabs on you right now. And that's driving them crazy. You, and your children need to come first. Trust that they are the plan. Okay, it could be my inner child comes first. Yeah, I mean, if you had children together, of course, but if you have children with other people and somebody says, I don't spend enough time with my children, or we're always fighting about my kids, maybe that has become interference somehow. But that can be worked on. That can be talked about. I feel insecure and it's pushing me to grow. I'm going to say for the first time in their life, they're facing an insecurity. They probably have a very inflated ego. And for the first time in their life, you've kind of knocked them down a couple of pegs. And they're starting to realize they're not all that, Spirit just said. And they think they're all that. That's funny. They're not all that. That's cute. And they think they are. And you've definitely knocked them down a couple of pegs. I'm looking for a way out of a situation so I can be free. Maybe it's an ultimatum. If you can't be with me exclusively, then I don't want to be with you. I'm not interested in a third party situation. I'm not interested in being an F buddy. I'm not interested in casual. I feel your energy around me and I wonder, are you thinking of me too? I have no doubt in my mind they're thinking of you, but they're thinking of you because their hurt is you've wounded me. Even if they wanted this, somehow it's your fault. You've somehow turned it onto, which is very narcissistic, isn't it? That somehow it's your fault that they're hurting. And that's always my favorite, that the person who says, I want out, I need a break, I need space, says, I'm hurting. This hurts. What did they think was going to happen? So they're somehow blaming you for their hurt right now. And it's not your fault. It's, if they did this to themselves, probably. Just like you, I'm always doing some form of mission. My energy and wisdom supports those around me. I will say that feels a little bit like I'm trying harder to find my purpose. I'm trying harder to find, why I struggle in this relationship, why I can't be enough, why this isn't enough, why I feel like I need more. It's almost like an addict who can't understand why they need the next hit. So this person could have just such an inflated ego that nothing is content enough for them. And they are always looking for that next high, that next excitement. And, if you guys have been in a relationship for a while, hey, let's face it, it's not all puppy dogs and butterflies. It starts to turn real. And if they're looking for a good time and giggles, and having a good time, then it's not a real relationship. It's a one-night stand. And, and that's sometimes people look for that hit. all the time. They like the newness of a relationship. So here is some charms. Let's see. You know, right now, hold your ground is how I feel. I feel like you're doing the right thing if you're keeping them in no contact, because they've got to realize that they can't, I feel like they can't mess around with your emotions is how I want to say it. That they just can't come and go. They just can't come and go whenever they like. Okay, especially if they've done this before. Maybe this time you're saying, no, okay, no contact is no contact, and you didn't chase them. And they're like, what do you mean you're not chasing me? What do you mean you don't miss me to death? Crying, begging, coming back, you know? So it's just everything about their ego. I love quilting, but it's not so much the quilting that you are a quilter. It's more of a patchwork quilt. Like I feel like I'm piecing all the puzzle pieces together, like a patchwork, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And maybe I'm tired of piecing it together. Maybe I need more. Maybe I need it to be a full-blown comforter, you know, and it's all sewn and fluffy and soft instead of, you know, just pieced together. So it just feels like I want it to come together. And part of the battle is I'm fighting with somebody who doesn't think that this is enough. And if I'm not enough for this person, then they need to move on. And that's really what this is about, because you are enough. You're amazing. I have a green tomato, green pepper, pumpkin. I'm going to put all these pumpkins. So the fall feels important to me. I have another pumpkin. Okay. The green tomato came into me as it still needs to ripen, if that's a tomato. It could be a pepper, but it's coming into me as a green tomato. So it still needs to ripen. Maybe I let it sit on the vine a little bit longer, grow, get more sun, learn. You know, it could be Spirit's way of saying this person's still got to grow. It's got to learn. It's got to this person's got to ripen to their feelings. And maybe they just need some time to do that. I have a little gingerbread man, a big gingerbread man. Okay, so that's coming into me as around the holidays. Maybe Halloween, fall, holidays. Things calm down. We come back together. Things are better again. This person has learned their lesson that they can't just push you away and treat you like, you know, like nothing. Okay, so I have a big dog, a couple big dogs. So maybe we have big dogs in our life. I have like a bulldog and some kind of greyhound, but maybe we have big dogs in our life. I have sunglasses. That's coming into me as, you know, just hiding behind, playing it cool, hiding behind, not being upfront, not being honest, a little bit shady, shady energy. So I'm a little concerned about that. And that's, yeah, here's the shark. You know, it's a, you know, you took a bite out of me. You know, you were, you know, the shark energy. I also feel like it kind of came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, you know, I'm not really happy. Since when? It's the first I've heard of it. You know, and like I said, usually it's because there's something else going on behind the scenes, and it's their way of, instead of saying, I want to see somebody else or I've met somebody else, all of a sudden they have to throw it on this connection and be, well, the reason why I'm seeing somebody else is because I'm not happy. So instead of I'm a cheater and I want to be with somebody else. So that's, you know, I think happened to some of you. All right. So I have a bunny and I have a flower. So this is coming into me as a flower garden. Maybe I have a garden in my backyard with I see the bunnies at night. Maybe I have lots of bunnies in my yard. I don't know. It feels like a backyard garden. Maybe we always sat back there. Maybe it's like a patio. It could be a back porch. And I feel like I'm sitting back there alone, and maybe that's somewhere we sat a lot and talked and had a drink or cups of coffee or something like that. So I feel like the backyard and that quietness is different without you. So I'm feeling that it could be at their house or your house. Something's going on with that. I have the moon. I'm constantly looking at the moon for some reason. It also feels like I'm counting the days. So I feel like that's, maybe this is the longest we've ever been without talking. This is the longest we've ever been upset with each other, something like that. I have a starfish and a lobster, and it feels like I went to, excuse me, hold on. Okay, I need a little sip of water there. It feels like I went on a trip without them to the shore, and they have no idea that I went. I went with friends. Maybe it doesn't necessarily even have to be the shore, but it could be some kind of weekend away or night away or something that they would normally know. So they don't even know I'm away. And I don't know, there's a kind of a power feeling behind it. Like they don't even know where I am right now. They're not entitled to knowing. So unless they have a tracker on your phone and they're following you, it's a very powerful independence that you've gained, that they're not entitled to know who you're with. They're not entitled to know who you're talking to because they asked for this. And I feel like they would love to know. They would love to know. And then I have a nativity scene. So there is a sense of Christian. There is a sense of Christmas with that. So we may celebrate Christmas. We may celebrate the same religion. So there are your charms. So a little bit shady. Someone's shady, right? Yeah, it's, I don't know what, maybe there was secrets being held and, secrets revealed, secrets come out. They're hurtful, something like that. Let's see what the feelings are. Let's see what they want to say. Spirit, can you share with me some feelings? What is going on with this connection? So you definitely deflated their ego. You dropped them down a few pegs. So, and they're saying hold strong. They want you to hold strong. This person has to come back to you. And when they realize that you're not going to come to them, they're going to have to swallow their pride and decide that you're more important than their pride. I will always love you no matter what happens between us. You and I are one regardless of our circumstances. I still feel, sometimes people still feel like they're in a relationship even when they've technically broken up. You still feel like, yeah, we're in a relationship, but we're just not talking right now. And maybe that's how you feel with this person. Like, I know we're still in a relationship, but we're just definitely not talking. Something's going on. My greatest wish is to be in union with you and simply be happy. How do we find happiness within this union? I've been dreaming about us and even having a future. So this person's having a little bit of a wake-up call. When I look at your pictures, I feel lost in your eyes. So I'm definitely, that felt like I'm stalking you. It did. It felt like I'm looking you up on social media. I'm looking for any update as to where you are, who you're with. They're really struggling with it, trying to keep tabs on you. You were the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I was not expecting that you weren't going to chase me. That is really what has happened. You always deserve so much more than I was able to offer you. And again, I feel like there was some financial fights over, I can't give you that, or they're spending their money on things that are frivolous or don't count, instead of contributing to helping you in the money that you're spending together, like food or going out. And somehow some of those things were falling on you and you alone. And I feel like that it wasn't financially equal, and it was, you know, there was some resentments there. You are the only one that makes me feel this way. A little bit of you're driving me crazy by me not knowing what's going on. I would say that. I miss our deep conversations and your nurturing energy. Well, that's encouraging. They miss you. I still have hope that we can work things through. There's always hope. There's always a way if two people, you know, love each other and want to reconnect. But Spirit's saying stay strong. They are adamant that they do not want you to be running after this person. This person has to realize that there are consequences to actions, and they have to be willing and adult enough to swallow their pride and come back with apologies, or we need to talk, and that you guys have an understanding as to what's going on. So right now, I'm going to say hold strong, hold firm, and we'll ask Spirit to guide you both. I want to thank Spirit for these loving messages. I want to thank you all for being here. If you're new to this channel, please remember to hit that like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment below, claim it, own it, it's yours. If anyone would like to book a private reading with me, check out my website at KathyMamolinsPsychicMedium.com. Also, check out my main channel and my Pick a Card channel for some additional readings, and I'll put those links in the description and in the comments. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you again in another Love Messages real soon.